My name is Veronica. I grew up going to church. I grew up as a pastor's kid. My dad is a minister in the Salvation Army. So growing up, I went to church every week. I was involved in weekly activities. And I knew God and I believed in God, but I never had a relationship with Him. There was never a crisis I went through or any kind of trauma where I needed God, so He was kind of just there. When I turned 17, I found out that I was pregnant. I gave birth to my first son my senior year of high school, and then by the time I was 23, I had 3 kids. My relationship with my boyfriend at the time was okay in the beginning, but soon after my second son, it started getting really bad, and he got heavy into drugs and alcohol, and the kids and I were having to deal with the daily emotional abuse and then eventually physical abuse from him. I felt very trapped, and having gone through a emotionally and physically abusive relationship, I know that there's a lot of judgment on girls in that situation for not leaving. But having gone through it, I was very trapped, and I thought I would spend so much time thinking about different ways that I could leave with the kids and get away, but it seemed impossible. And I remember there were times where we would go out in public and I would just pray that someone would look at me and know how miserable I was and how dangerous of a situation I was in, and I just wanted to grab someone and say, help me get out of this situation. It was really tough. One night, he came home high and drunk, which wasn't unusual. That was a normal occurrence. And this night, however, he got extremely abusive. We were arguing, and I said, I just want to leave. Let me take the kids. I just want to go. And I remember him getting on top of me. He was holding, covering my mouth so that I couldn't yell for help. And our 1-year-old daughter was on the bed next to us. And I remember looking over and seeing my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old in the doorway just watching the struggle. And once he realized what was happening, he put all the kids in the other room, and they were forced to listen to their mom pleading to be let go. Eventually, he let me go to the restroom, and I went in the restroom, and I locked the door behind me, and I just cried out to God, and I said, I need your help. I know you're the only one who can save me from this. I've tried everything else on my own, and it's impossible, and I know you are the only one that can save me from this. Please save me. I can't live like this. And I just trusted him completely and gave him my life. I just completely surrendered to him that night in the bathroom, really out of desperation. And the very next day, God started moving mountains and working in ways that I could have never imagined. He provided my friend, who I was able to message on Facebook, to call the police for me when my phone was taken away and he was being physically abusive. He provided the family friends who opened their house to my kids and I at 1 a.m. when we were able to leave with just bags of clothes is all we had. He provided strangers who would message me that they're praying for me and that God had laid it on their heart to pray for me when I needed it the most. God blessed us. He provided me a job. He provided the 2-story townhouse that we still live in. It hasn't been easy, and it's required me to trust God completely and to have faith that He is going to continue to take care of us. And the new life we have here in Cameron Park, and the new relationship I have with God, the new life I have in Him is better than anything I could have ever asked for. My kids are thriving in school, and I've gone back to school. I'm enrolled at Sac State part-time, working towards my accounting degree. And God has blessed me with an amazing man in my life, Josiah, who loves me and my kids and is the godly man that I've always wanted. Looking back, there were times when things didn't go the way I had planned or wanted them to go, but now I can see that God was working and He had a plan that was better than any plan I could have imagined. I'm not proud of a lot of what I've been through. No one thinks they're gonna be in the situations that I was in, but what I am proud of is the legacy that I'm leaving for my daughter and my 2 boys. They will know that their mom fought for them. She loved them. She worked hard to raise them, but most of all that she found faith and hope in a God who saves, forgives, and restores.